Hi, I'm Clay Carter, and I'm chairman of the investment committee at Macrovue. And I'd like to talk a bit today about what happened in the first quarter in global equity markets. Well, surprisingly, most global equity markets provided Australian investors with a positive return. The S&P was up 0.6%. The tech-heavy NASDAQ was up almost 4%, 3.97%. The Asian markets all registered roughly a 2% return, the Japanese market, Hong Kong market, and China. Europe was barely up at 0.19, and unfortunately the outlier was the Australian market, which actually fell over 5% in the quarter. Now, it was a volatile quarter, I must admit. We rallied into the end of January, strong rally, sold off almost 10%, which is a classic correction, then came back almost to where we were, and then since then, markets have been sort of up and down almost every day. So what's going on? Well, there have been a number of concerns out there. Facebook, of course, has been under a cloud because of the Cambridge Analytica fiasco, where user data was given to a third party. There's also concern that governments may get involved in regulating some of the tech behemoths, the Googles, the Amazons, and of course Facebook and maybe Twitter, impeding their growth. President Trump's decision to begin a tariff war with the rest of the world, specifically China, that's got markets worried. So literally every day we're seeing negative headlines, and markets are responding accordingly. Now, as someone who's been investing in global equity markets for over 30 years, I find this quite interesting because the underlying earnings and economic fundamentals are extremely positive and remain so. For example, analysts have just raised the earnings estimates for the S&P 500 in 2018 almost 10%, which is unheard of. A lot of that's driven by, of course, tax reform, global economic fundamentals being positive, and particularly the US. So in the absence of any sort of really bad news on the fundamental side, I'm surprised that markets are behaving the way they are. But over the short term, that's probably what happens, and investors are just going to have to put up with a bit more volatility in 2018. Now, how did Macrovue fare in that quarter? Well, I'd like to say that all of our views except one, all of our thematic portfolios except one, outperformed the All Ords. And for that, we're quite pleased. If you're interested in seeing some of the impressive returns that we generated during the quarter, go to our website, www.macrovue.com.au.